Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are, remember you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another HABS Daily News with your hockey coach, your coach Frenchy. Today, episode number 267. What you have a minute, coach? First of all, guys, I want to talk about the schedule. Help the Montreal Canadiens until the end of the season. Secondly, I'm going to talk about the three NCAA players are UF3 at this moment. Could Montreal sign one of them? And finally, the problem the Montreal Canadiens has now with the rules between the NHL and American Hockey League about the call-up players after the trade deadline. But before we start, we invite you, please, don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show, and leave me a comments about this episode, and please sharing this video on your social media. And let's dive in talking about my first subject of the day. My first subject of the day, guys, about the Montreal Canadiens, the NHL schedule. Help the Montreal Canadiens to finish lower. Well, yes, because Montreal Canadiens for the rest of the season have a really difficult schedule. They play a lot against the best team in NHL. Here, an example. The next 10 games for the Montreal Canadiens, they play against 6 of the best top 10 teams right now in the standing. Secondly, 9 of the 10 games they're going to play, they are all against the 6 top NHL team I was just talking about. So Montreal Canadiens for the next approximately 3 weeks are maybe going to be lower in the standing. With the W for the Canucks yesterday, the Montreal Canadiens now are 27 in the standing. The dream of every fans, les Bleu Blanc Rouge, they want the Montreal Canadiens finish at least at the bottom 5 of the standing, and hopefully they can win the lottery to get a minimum of really super elite players. Now I want to focusing, guys, on the 3 other teams are just under the Montreal Canadiens. I'm talking about the Vancouver, the Arizona, and Anaheim. Yes, Vancouver guys just passed the Montreal last night with a W against the Nashville Predator. But let's checking their schedule. First of all, the Vancouver Canucks guys, they have the next 5 games. They play against Nashville. They won yesterday. San Jose, Anaheim Ducks twice, and the Arizona. This is a great schedule for Vancouver to pass the Montreal Canadiens. Secondly, the Arizona are 4 points behind the Montreal Canadiens. They play against the Nashville, the St. Louis Blues, the Calgary Flames, the Vancouver, and the Chicago. Possible they could win 3 of the 5 games, and I know when they play at home, they have a really good record at home. So possible Arizona get at least 4 to 6 points and pass the Montreal Canadiens. Finally, my last team I want to talk is the Anaheim Ducks. They are 6 points behind the Montreal Canadiens, but they play twice against the Vancouver Canucks, 1 time against Columbus Blue Jackets, 2 times against the Flames, and 1 time against the Nashville Predator. So possible at some point Montreal could become now 29 in the standing at some point. Would be really interesting. And again, they play a really difficult schedule for the rest of the season for the Montreal Canadiens. Martin Saint-Louis wish is this: what is their schedule, whatever is the roster, he needs to continue to build the brand, build the culture, stay competitive until the end of the season, continues to make an effort with a great work ethic, and finally continue the development for each player and for the team together. But I just want to share it with you because many fans are upset about the Montreal Canadiens. They think they're not going to finish at the bottom 6, and now they're thinking maybe St. Louis or the Flyers going to go under the Montreal Canadiens. I guarantee you that, guys. Take a note. With about 21 games to go, Montreal Canadiens are not going to finish 25th, 26th, more 28, 29. You never know. Possible 30. And please, God, we want to win the lottery. Draft NHL 2023. So leave me a comments about the schedule. Where do you see the Montreal Canadiens guys at the end of the year as understanding? Let's move on now, guys, for my second subject of the day. My second subject of the day, guys, about the Montreal Canadiens could sign a UFA NCAA players. What are you talking about? Not everyone in NCAA are drafted by any team in NHL. Some of them right now are going to complete a graduate this year. The season is complete. Most of the team right now in NCAA, they are moving on the playoff, but many of the teams are not playing anymore. I want to share with you 3 different players when a Montreal could consider to sign up and maybe add to the lineup for the Laval Rocket or the Montreal Canadiens. First of all, We know the Montreal Canadiens are still negotiating, looking when the season is over for both players, Sean Farrell and Jaden Stubble, if they're going to sign them at the end of the year and join the Montreal Canadiens or the Laval Rocket. We'll definitely give you more update about both the players when their season will be over. Then I want to talk about my first players today on the UF3 NCAA players. Jake Livingstone, a big right defenseman, 6'4", 205 pounds, played for the Minnesota State University, 24 years old, born in British Columbia. He has this year 7 goals, 23 assists, 30 points, and 33 games. He is a very good and defensive zone coverage. He's physical. He improved this year his offensive side of the game, but honestly, it could become a great asset for the Montreal Canadiens. Another big giant defenseman, 6'4". Many teams right now are looking for him. One of the teams is the Vancouver Canucks. Are they going to negotiate with him? We'll be interested in what would be the pick of Jake Livingstone. But if in Montreal Canadiens, nothing wrong to add a big fella like him at 6'4", 205 pounds. My second player I want to talk is Sam Malinski, 24 years old, born in Minnesota, but played for Cornell University, right defenseman, 5'11", 190 pounds, and 29 games this year, guys. You have 8 goals, 17 assists, 25 points. You have to know a little bit more about him because he's a solid player as a defenseman. Is a style of Martin Saint-Louis likes. Very quick and offensive, mind, transition, carry on the puck very well, generate offense, and the rush, join the play, join the rush. And I think Montreal Canadiens could use this players, Malinski, to add more offensive on the right D. Laval Rocket are looking to add defensemen. I think he could sign a contract with the Montreal Canadiens. Finally, my last player is a center, guys, Austin Swangler. He is a 21 years old only, guys. He's 6 foot, 185. He's a center, play for Bowling Green. And 35 game, guys. He has 19 goals, 25 assists, 44 points. Really offensive. He's very crafty and smooth skater. I like his 200 game. Like Martin Saint-Louis said, very good on 3 zone. One thing Austin, he did really different path. He played in USHL. Because of COVID, he returned to OHL. And then after that, he come back to NCAA. All this path gave him a chance, I believe, to be with any team in NHL in the next couple of weeks. Plus, Laval Rocket, guys, the line of the center is really not great. I think to add a 21 years old, very young, could develop him properly. You never know what could happen. Again, they are all 3 UFA, and I would like to hear from you guys. Who do you think, or what do you think Montreal should do? Sign one of them, not allow, or you believe that would be a great asset for the Laval Rocket? So again, Jake Livingstone, 6'4", right defenseman, an offensive defenseman, Sam Malinski, 24 years old, and finally, the center, Austin Swangler, 21 years old only, 44 points and 35 games with the Bowling Green. Let's move on now, guys, for my last subject of the day. My third subject of the day, guys, this coming from someone sent me an email on my mailbag and ask a question. You can do this, guys. You can send me email directly to me, and I will answer, and I will talk about your question when I have an opportunity to do it. Today, I want to answer to our friend Jerry. He said, how this work, the call up from Laval Rocket with the Montreal Canadiens after the trade deadline. This is a little bit a problem with Montreal Canadiens because what happening last week? First of all, guys, the Montreal Canadiens can call up 4-time friend players from Laval Rocket until the end of the season after the trade deadline. Only 4. But now, last week, they sent down before the trade deadline Ilonen and Harvey Pinard to put them on the roster for the Laval Rocket if ever they make the playoff. But why not to send Barron? Why not to send Savkoski? They have a rules in NHL. You cannot return any player injury or on the ER or day or today and return them to Laval Rocket. It's to protect them to stay in the NHL. Like I mentioned to you, max is 4 players. Now, after they send down Ilonen and RHP, Montreal, they call up again both players. That gave now Montreal Canadiens 2 already out of the 4. So right now, they have only 2 players they can call up from March 6th to the end of the season for the Montreal Canadiens. Now, guys, I want to share with you the rules from a call-up emergency player from the CBA. I'm not going to read everything like that. At the end of the day, guys, if the team are below of 12 forward, 6 defensemen, or 2 goaltender, you can call up in emergency players. This is not considered a call up of the 4 players. This happening this weekend. Injury to Caden Cooley and Justin Barron put the Montreal Canadiens at only 5 defensemen. They call up right away the new player Frédéric Allard for emergency call up players. Until Barron and Cooley cannot return, Allard can stay with the Montreal Canadiens. It's not considered as a call up. One of the 2 is going to returning. Now he can return Allard to the Laval Rockets. It's very interesting how the rule works. I just want to share with you a resume of what I just said. You can call 4 players, guys, from the Laval Rocket until the end of the season. You can call up any players for an emergency player if your position is below what is the regular number, 12, 6, and 2 as a goaltender. Otherwise, after you call up all your 4 players, you cannot call anybody. So you're going to have to play with only your roster you have. We know Montreal have a lot of injuries, and that's the situation with the Montreal Canadiens right now. Only 2 more call-up they can bring to the Laval Rocket until the end of the season. Please leave me a comment what do you think about that rule, or maybe if you have any other question, salary cap, rules in NHL, anything you want to know, guys, send me an email on my mailbag. I will definitely respond to you. If not live on the video, I will respond to you by email. Many of you do this to me. They send me an email. I reply to each one of you guys, and I like to do this. I want to helping the people to understand the rules in NHL, and of course, my mission is to be sure you still love the game and you are passionate about the game. So this complete, guys, all my subject I have for you for this episode. Here we go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. We talk about the schedule help the Montreal Canadiens. The 3 NCAA player or UFA possible Montreal could consider to sign one of them. And finally, I'm talking about the rules between the NHL and American Hockey League about the call up after the trade deadline. But before we leave, we invite you, please don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show. Leave me a comments about this episode. Please sharing this on your social media. And of course, remember, you have greatness inside of you. We wish you an amazing, blessing day, everybody.